Hello, friends. Welcome to the April online card class. Tonight, we are going to be making 3 handmade coffee-themed cards with the Latte Love stamp set, which is right here. I love the stamp set. It is so, so cute. We're going to make 3 cards, including a fun fold card, so it's going to be a great evening. Welcome to everyone who is joining me live. If you are here live, let me know if you got the card kit for this class and if you're stamping along with me tonight. If you're watching the replay, special welcome to you too. I love my replay warriors. I love to know that you guys come later and watch the replay. So leave a comment. Let me know that you caught the replay. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and I am going to help you reconnect with your inner artist to create beautiful handmade cards and gifts using stamps, ink, and paper. So if you're brand new, I hope that you will hit that subscribe button so you always know when I go live. All right, I'm going to make my workspace a little bit bigger so we can see what's going on tonight. So not me, my workspace. There we go. Hello, let me see. Hello, I and Dora and Karen. You're stamping along. Awesome. And Louise and Shirley and Sarah and Mad Dog, who got their Taco Fiesta Mystery Craft Box last week. Oh, so glad. Those were so much fun. All right. And let me see. Sharon is stamping along tonight too. Fonda. Oh, I am so glad y'all are here. All right. I'm going to get started. I'm going to get started with the stamping. So here is the Latte Love stamp set. Now, if you registered for the class and you got the card kit, you also got a sample pack of the A Little Latte designer series paper. This has one 6x6 piece of each of the different designs. So you have the whole thing for it. So you're going to have some extras after the class that you can use. We need to start for tonight. We need to start with doing just a little bit cutting. So each card, we're going to have to do a little bit cutting so that you can cut into this paper. So for tonight's card, we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab, let me see, the first card. If you have the card kit, grab envelope number 1. The first card, we want to grab this one with these little coffee cups on there. So that one's super cute. We also want to grab this one with the coffee splotches. And then we want to grab this one that has like these coffee hearts. It's like the foam, but hearts. And we're going to cut these up. So I'm going to start with the one with the tiny little coffee cups on it. And this one, I'm going to cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So I'm going to start with 3 3/4. Just slice that. And then I'm going to turn and cut it at 5 inches. And all of this is in the written tutorials as well if you pre-register for the class. So if you don't have something, you can look that up too. All right, then I'm going to grab the coffee splotches. And this one is going to be 1.5 inches by 5. So I'm going to go ahead and start by cutting this at 1.5. 1.5, and then we'll turn it and I'm going to cut it at 5. There we go. So 1.5 by 5. I love our paper trimmer and how easy it is to cut. Now this one, I have a measurement on here. I said 5/8 inch. Really what you want is you want 1 strip of hearts. So it's about 5/8, but if you're like, oh, I'm going to get a little bit closer to the center, that's fine. It doesn't have to be 5/8. I'm just going to cut 1 strip of hearts right off there, that direction. And then this is going to be 5 inches as well. So I'll go ahead and cut this at 5. And then we can start the stamping portion of this card. So just go ahead and set these pieces aside. Actually, you know what? Let's do some gluing. Sometimes it's nice to kind of glue and get stuff put together. Let me get some things out of my space. I'm going to pull in the supplies for this card. So we have a little square of white. We have a square of Calypso Coral. We have a square of pecan pie. We have a larger piece of Calypso Coral. And of course, we have our card base in pecan pie as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold this in half. Take my bone folder, give it a good squish. And I'm going to start doing some gluing. So I have the Calypso Coral. And I'm going to start by adhering the A Little Latte designer series paper to this. So, oh, this is so cute too. All of the papers are so cute. I'm using green glue. You can use whatever adhesive you'd like for this. If you're using green glue, like I am, you want to make sure that you just use a little bit. I like to keep the tip really flat to the paper so I don't get too much on it, because if you get too much, it will kind of squish out the sides. All right, there's that. And I'm going to add this piece, this coffee splotch piece. Again, I'm holding my glue. It's really like touching the paper. You can even hear it make noise across the table. So we don't get very much on there. And this will just go on the left side. There we go. All right. And then finally, I have my little piece of heart. And I'm just going to glue this down. And I'm going to put it towards the right side of this coffee paper, but I'm going to leave a little bit of a border in there. So it just ends up just like that, kind of highlighting those little coffee bits. All right, and then I can go ahead and pop on my Calypso Coral. Sometimes I just like to get a lot of the gluing done, especially when there's a lot of little pieces, just so that I don't lose them, right? They all get kind of like, they go where they're supposed to go, and then boom, we're done. All right, now in your card kit, you should have some silver threaded twine. I'm going to see if I have enough silver threaded twine left to do my card. I am so sad. I am so sad that this is going away. Go. Things are falling over on my desk. I'm so sad that the silver threaded twine is going away, because it is my absolute favorite. I love it. I think it is so easy to tie. I don't know. People must just not have loved it as much as I did. Anyway, all right. So we're going to go ahead and you have the piece cut already in your card kit. I'm just kind of like laying it out like a bow to figure out how long I need it to be. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pull out one strand of this. I don't even know if this is still available. I should check the inventory supply list that I can get to and see if you can even still get the silver threaded twine. My favorite thing in the whole world. All right. Because I might need to get some. I'm like just about out. So I'm just going to put this over this little piece of pecan pie, the little piece of pattern paper that is showing here next to the hearts. And I'm going to go over top of the Calypso Coral. And I am just going to tie this at the bottom. So we'll thread that around. And then make this into a nice bow. There we go. And I just love how easy it is to tie. It doesn't like go weird directions. It doesn't flip flop. Telling you, silver threaded twine is amazing. All right. So we got that on there. And then I'm just going to put this on my card front with some green glue again. And then we can do some stamping. Do some stamping and some coloring, and this card is going to come together so fast. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of lag on my video. I hope that stops doing that. Might need to tell my husband to stop watching TV. All right. So I'm just gluing that down and hold that down. There we go. All right. Here's my little square of white. I'm going to stamp this open coffee mug on it. All right. I'm going to stamp the open coffee mug. I'm going to stamp this in Calypso Coral. So here's my Calypso Coral ink pad. Just open that up. And I'm going to stamp my little coffee mug in Calypso Coral. I think I'm going to put the handle kind of up towards the top. And just stamp it just like that. Then I want to come in. I'm going to come in with some early espresso, and I'm going to use the sentiment. I love these sentiments. It says, "You're the best part of my day." It reminds me of the old, I'm sure it's supposed to do this, reminds me of those old Folgers commercials, right? Like the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. But now the best part of your day is you. You're the best part of my day, not my coffee, even though really, I don't know, my coffee might be my best part of my day. All right, so I just stamped that on there with some early espresso. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the pecan pie, and I'm going to just do some little splotches and stuff on here too. So the pecan pie, and I want to grab, there's like a coffee ring stamp, okay, that makes like the coffee rings that you leave on the table. I'm just going to stamp that down in this corner. And then there's like coffee droplets. Stamp that a little bit too. Stamp it up here. We're messy with our coffee. There we go. So, hello, we got lots more people joining us. Welcome, 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 everyone. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I am going to color this with my Stampin' blend. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' blends. I want to use some pecan pie, some petal pink, and I think some lemon lolly is what I ended up using. So I'm going to start with the petal pink, and I'm going to color in the coffee mug with a little bit of petal pink. So I'm starting with the light petal pink. I'm just going to add that around my coffee mug. All the way around and on the handle, of course. And then I'm going to grab my dark petal pink and add a little bit of shading. So they have these little lines on there. Those are great places to add in some extra shading. It's like they told you, hey, put some shading here. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more, just kind of on the edges and stuff. And there we go. Now I want to add some pecan pie to the inside of my coffee mug. So I'm going to grab the light pecan pie. And this, I'm just going to color around, and we're going to kind of do this kind of messy. I don't want to go over the sentiment, but I just want to like go around the sentiment. All right, so we're just kind of adding in a little coffee in our mug. There we go. And then I'm going to use the color lifter, and I'm going to go over this with my color lifter. I'm going to kind of do it in circles and go over this and just lighten up that coffee. And it's going to give it kind of a swirly look because I like cream in my coffee. So my coffee is definitely not very dark. So just kind of blending that out, blending it in a little bit. There we go. Awesome. And then I'm going to grab some light lemon lolly, and I'm just going to use this a little bit around the outside of my mug, just to, I don't know, make it look like it's sitting on the table or something. I'm just going to kind of outline the mug with a little bit of lemon lolly. And this, of course, is the light lemon lolly. I like to just move my paper and not my hand, because my hand doesn't like to move funny directions. And then just like the coffee, I'm going to go over this with my color lifter, and I'm just going to go back over, kind of going over the edge of where it is, so it blends it out a little bit more into the white. Just kind of lightens it even more. So we'll send that all the way around. There we go. So much fun. All right, we did our coloring. You like creamer with coffee? Coffee with creamer, right? The creamers, yeah. All right, let's glue this together. We're almost done. So I'm going to adhere this. You have a piece of pecan pie. I'm going to put this on the pecan pie. Again, I'm using green glue, but you could use whatever you want with this. And we'll adhere this to the pecan pie. Pecan pie. There we go. And then the next step, I'm going to put this next bit on with dimensionals. So go ahead and add these dimensionals to the back. And we'll put this on our card front. Peel those backs off. Add this to our card front, and then we're going to add some a little bit of bling to this too. It's just going to go right on here. Pop that over. And then if you ordered the card kit, you also have some of the adhesive back solid gems. This is what we're going to add to our card front. I'm going to use the pecan pie ones on this. I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. Now, if you haven't seen the Take Your Pick tool before, this is the Take Your Pick tool. It has a putty end, although this comes off. And then it also has a pokey end, or this slides around and there's a paddle end. And then there's also, you can get, let me show you my other one. So this one, I have my brush on here for getting out intricate die cuts. And then this one has stylus. It has a big one, has a big stylus end and a little stylus end. So, and they're all like interchangeable and stuff. But for this, let's put this back to pokey. I always keep it just on the pokey. I'm using the putty end. Now, when you do the putty, actually, I'll show you. My putty's looking kind of gross. You can pull off the old putty. When you need more putty out, be careful because it doesn't come out right away. All right, so you're going to twist this. I might be getting to the end of my putty. And I'll probably end up doing what I'm literally going to tell you not to do. But you want to go ahead and twist that and then wait a minute because it takes it a minute to like come out. I do not know why, but it doesn't come out right away. So I've done it before. Like I've twisted it and twisted it and twisted it. And then like it starts coming out and then like there's a ton out and I've totally wasted it. So you just need to twist it a little bit and then wait a minute and let it come out all the way. All right, I'm going to grab a big one of these. I'm going to pop that down here. Now, when you pick up gems with this, there's kind of a little bit of a technique to it. You just kind of want to stick it down and then kind of give it a slide and a lift. And that's usually the easiest way. Put that one up there. And there we go. There is our first card. I'm going to hold this up for you. So there's our first card for tonight. So cute. So much fun. Now, you should also have an extra piece of white. If you got the card pack, you got an extra piece of white that can go on the inside of your card. If you want, you can grab a little of the pecan pie and we'll do just a little edge on here. Maybe add some splotches too. Some splotches down from the top. And then that's where we can put this on the inside of the card so you can write inside your card too. I always like to put a liner inside my cards. So this is going to go in here, just like that. Oh, so much fun. So there we go. There's our card. All right, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to clean up my work area just a little bit because if I don't do that, it turns into chaos by the end of the night, which it will anyway. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, folks. It will turn into chaos. All right, but if I don't clean off my stamps, I will end up getting them in the wrong ink. It will be messy, even though I'm mostly using the same colors tonight. We're going to make our fun fold card next, and I am so excited about this card. I love it. I think it is such a fun design, so I'm really excited to share it with you. All right, let me move on. Let me look at my measurements over here because I got to get the right stuff. Because we have to cut a little bit more paper. So let me show you what we're cutting for the next card. Let me simple. All right, so for the next card, we need the splotchy one again. All right, grab that splotchy one. We also need this one with the coffee mugs. We need this one with the coffee mugs. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these down. And so this one with the splotches, with the coffee splotches, this one needs to be 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So we're going to cut it 4 inches this way. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it 5 1/4. And I'm just lining this up at the 5 1/4 over here, and then just sliding the paper trimmer through it. And then the coffee cups, we need the coffee cups to be 2 1/4 by 4 inches. So I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to cut 2 1/4, line this up with a 2 1/4 inch slide my trimmer through, and then I'm going to turn it. And this also needs to be 4 inches. So put it this way, 4 inches. Now don't go anywhere with your paper trimmer. All right, don't go anywhere with your paper trimmer because we got some more cutting to do. In your packet, in your card kit, you have a piece of early espresso, card-based early espresso. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, just your basic card base. We're going to do a little bit of cutting and scoring on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and I'm going to put this in my paper trimmer. Now I have the score line right here. I am going to score this at a 1/2 inch. So actually, you know what? I'm going to do it down here just because it's easier. I'm going to line this up with a 1/2 inch right over here on this side. All right, so I'm lining this up with the 1/2 inch. I am going to score from this edge down here. That's not in the camera. I'm going to score from this edge down here up to that score line. All right, so I'm going to use the light one, and we're just going to score up to that score line. And then I need to flip it because I need to do it on the other side. So I'm going to flip it around. All right. And now my score line's over here that I already have. And I'm going to score it again at, let me double check, at 3 inches. So again, we're going to score from the score line up to this top edge this time. And I'm going to score this at 3 inches. All right, just like that. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to put this in here at 4 1/4, which is going to be that center line. We have the center score line lined right up in our trimmer. We are going to cut from this top edge through the 1/2 inch score mark all the way down to the 3 inch score mark. All right, so I'm going to cut with the dart cutting blade. Take a breath, make sure you're doing everything right? Measure twice, cut once. So I'm cutting on that score line down the center through the 1/2 inch score line down to the 3 inch score line. Here we go. And I can see where the center is. There's like a mark on the side of my trimmer, so I can see that. Take that down to the 3 inch score mark. All right. Well, let me show you what this looks like. So there we go. We have this right here. Super fun. We're going to fold this in half. Find my bone folder. All right. This is the front of your card. You're going to open it up and you're going to fold down. Okay. We're folding this down. And then we need to fold down the little flap too. Probably should have done that first, but whatever. We're going to fold down and we're eventually going to adhere this right here. But first, I want to make like a little thumb slit in here. Now, if you don't have a punch, you can just take a pair of scissors and you could just cut like a triangle. Okay. Because this is going to be a gift card holder. And this is just going to make it easier to get your gift card out. So if you don't have a punch, you could do that. Now, if you have a punch, let me grab one of my punches. If you have like a circle punch, you could take your circle punch and you could slide that in, try to line it up, and then just punch that off and get a nice little circle. But if you don't have a punch, you can definitely just, cut that little triangle. It's going to serve the same purpose. So no worries. All right. Once you have that ready to go, though, once you've made that little trim in there, we're going to go ahead and we are going to adhere this. So I'm just going to do this with green glue. Don't get too much because you don't want to accidentally glue it shut. But I'm just going to put some green glue on there. And then fold this over. There we go. All right. And that makes your gift card holder. Now, it's not closed on this side, but I have not noticed any problem. It's going to stay in there because your card's going to be closed. Right? And somehow it didn't fold right the first time, but that's okay. We'll just slide this over. Give it a new crease. There we go. All right, so there's the base for our card. Now, let's do some more gluing. Let's do some more gluing while we're at it, shall we? All right, so let's look at the pieces we have in here because there are a ton of pieces for this one, all right? So we have some early espresso. we have some pecan pie. We have a couple pieces of petal pink, and these are the same size, right? We have another piece of early espresso. These are two different sizes. So you have a smaller piece and a larger piece. We have 3 pieces of white. 2 of them are the same size, and one is a little bit bigger. The one that is bigger is for the front. The 2 smaller ones are for the inside. All right, so those are going to go with the petal pink. They're going to go on the inside. The larger one is going to go with the smaller piece of early espresso. Okay, so the larger piece of white goes with the smaller piece of early espresso. The larger piece of early espresso and the piece of pecan pie, those are the same size, and they're going to go on the inside. So we're going to put those with the white. Right, so we have the 2 small whites and the 2 petal pinks, and then the large early espresso and the small pecan pie. Those all go together for the inside. We're just going to set those aside for a minute. Then you have a piece of the petal pink. This is cut with the scalloped contours dies. Again, some of my favorite dies. I've been using these a lot, and they're going to be retired. So if you don't have them, I think they're still available. I meant to go look. I meant to go check and see what was still available before I went live tonight, and I totally forgot. But I think these might still be available. If you don't have them yet, they would be good ones to get because they're so versatile and they look great. So this is going to go on the front of my card. I'm going to start by doing some stamping for the front of my card. So here's my piece of white. All right, this was the larger piece of white. And I'm going to start by stamping a couple of coffee cups. And we're doing these same open coffee cups that we used on the first card. I'm going to stamp the first one in Lost Lagoon. So I'm inking this up with some Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to stamp it this way. All right. And actually, I want to stamp my sentiment at the top so that I make sure that there is enough room for it. So I'm going to grab the Early Espresso ink pad. Sometimes I forget to do this. You forget, like, let's stamp the sentiment first so we make sure that it's in the right space. So I'm going to ink up the sentiment. I'm using the one that says, "Hello there, let's catch up." Hello there, let's catch up. And this is going to go at the top of here. So there we go. Now I need to clean off that. The scallop contour dies are still available. Thanks for letting me know, Tammy. Yeah, if you don't have those, like, seriously, I don't know what you're waiting for because they're amazing. All right. I am inking up. I am cleaning off my coffee cup stamp there. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Calypso Coral again. We're going to make another Calypso Coral. So ink that up. And then this one I'm going to put over here. So there's our 2 coffee cups. Now I want to use the pecan pie ink. All right, so we're using the pecan pie, and we're going to add like the coffee to the top of our mugs. So there's 2 different like coffee foams, but I think like they stamp the coffee and what's left is the foam. I could be wrong about that, but that's my impression. So I'm going to start with the heart. Words, they're missing. I'm going to start with the heart, inking this up with some pecan pie. And I'm going to stamp this in the Lost Lagoon mug at the bottom. And then I'm going to do the like leafy heart one. Ink this up. I like to do a lot of little tiny taps. So you don't want to push down into your ink pads because you'll get way too much ink like where you don't want the ink. But I find lots of little taps get it nice and inked up. So I tap a lot. All right, this is going to go up here. There we go. Now I want to grab my light crumb cake. I have to give a little caveat with this though. I need to order a new light crumb cake. Now I should have contacted Stampin' Up. They totally would have replaced this for me. I know that they would have. But I tend to order my Stampin' Blends kind of like in advance, and then they're in my drawer and I pull them out. So I have no idea when I ordered this. So I did not contact Stampin' Up about this, but I'm telling you, this light crumb cake, it's the wrong color. I feel like they gave me an ivory in a crumb cake barrel or something. I don't know. So hopefully your light crumb cake is better, but mine is very yellowy looking. And maybe I'm wrong, but I need to get another one so I can check them, but it seems very yellow to me. So I'm just coloring over the coffee in here. Just so it's not stark white. Now you could use the dark crumb cake if you like your coffee darker. If you like your foam darker, I don't know. There we go. So just coloring that in there. You know what? I forgot to stamp the splotches and stuff. So let's go back. We're going to stamp some splotches and some, what do I want to say? And some coffee rings. And you know what? We're going to stamp the stuff for the inside too. So it's all done. So I got to open my card up so I can remember what I stamped inside of it. All right, we stamped lots of coffee rings. So I'm going to start with the coffee ring stamp. And I'm just going to stamp that up here too. And then those 2 pieces of white for the inside, I'm going to go ahead and grab those. I'm going to stamp some coffee rings on there too while we got this out. So this is again in pecan pie. And just doing it in the corners. These are mostly going to be kind of like open, but I'm going to stamp a little bit in the corners. And then I want to grab that splotch again. I love the splotch. And again, I'm just stamping the corners here, just adding a little distressed because we are messy with our coffee. I think that's what we're finding out. We are messy coffee drinkers on this card. All right. And I'm going to add a couple to the front too. There we go. Now, while I'm doing these insides, I'm going to grab one of them. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to grab one of them. I'm going to stamp the other sentiment I want to use. I'm going to stamp this sentiment with Early Espresso again. And this time I'm using the little sentiment, if I can find it, the little sentiment, it says, "This one's on me," which I thought was perfect for a gift card holder, right? You could put a little gift card to your local coffee shop in here, or Starbucks if you prefer. I like my local shops. I put this in my Ponder Coffee, little Ponder Coffee gift card in there. All right, so there we go. And I think that's all the stamping. So now we can start putting this all together and making it look so cute. All right. Let's start with the inside of our card. Go ahead and open up your card. We're going to adhere this coffee splotch paper on the inside. Push all your stamps aside. I'm again using green glue. You can use whatever color you want, whatever glue you want, your choice. I'm going to put this coffee splotchy paper in here. I love this paper. It's so rich. And then I'm going to take this piece. Remember we had the pieces for the inside? I'm going to take one of the Petal Pinks and the Early Espresso. I'm going to adhere this to Petal Pink first. All right, this is going on the Petal Pink. Just like that. And then it's going on the Early Espresso. And then we'll put some adhesive on the Early Espresso and put that inside too. All right, so this is going to go in the center of the inside. Now, if you are sitting there and you did not get, you didn't register for the class and you want to get these full tutorials with all the dimensions of all these pieces and everything, those are available in my tutorial store. You just have to pop over to my website, onigostamping.com. Pop over there, head to the tutorial store, and you can get the tutorials for these 3 cards. All right, so I put that in the center there. I'm going to go ahead and close it now. We're going to work on the front. We'll come back to the inside in just a minute. I'm going to work on the front. We have that piece with our coffee mugs on it. We're going to adhere this to the front. Look at all those coffee splotches. They were really messy. They need to wipe their table. All right, here's the coffee mugs. We're going to put this on this little flap. So cute. Oh. And then we're going to take that petal pink piece that I die cut for you, and this is going to go on the front. Now I want to make sure that I only put adhesive down here. So I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to sneeze here in just a minute. I'm nearly positive. There we go. All right. So I flipped over my petal pink, and now I can see where that is. So I only put adhesive down here because I don't want to put adhesive above that because I don't want to glue my card shut. So this just goes here. Center it so we cover up that inside. All right. And now you need to find your piece of silver threaded twine. So you have some silver threaded twine. Thank you, Dora. And we're going to pull out another strand of that. And we're going to tie this around our card. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and tie it. I'm just going to set it on here. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to open this up. We'll come back. We're going to open up, work on the center, and then we'll come back to the front. There's a lot opening and closing. So now we have this other side. We're going to put this over here. And I need to grab a Kleenex because, of course, once I sneeze, then my nose gets drippy. All right. So I'm going to adhere this to the petal pink. We're going to do kind of what we just did. Here's the petal pink. Oops. This early espresso goes with the front of our card. Oh, I think I grabbed the wrong one. Oh, I hope not. I think I grabbed the wrong piece of early espresso. I was keeping it so separate. Oh, I did. All right, well, we'll cut this down. We'll cut it down in just a minute. Oops, this piece was supposed to be in here. Should have just made them the same size. Anyway, all right, this is going to go on my pecan pie. There we go. See this? We should have had a bigger border here, but that's okay. And then this pecan pie is going to go on the back of my frame. And this, we're going to glue the whole thing. So this just comes in here and goes on the back of that frame. All right, so kind of covers that up, makes it look super cute, super fun. Now we can go ahead and close this. And we're going to take our piece of silver threaded twine. We're going to wrap that around our card and we're going to tie it. And this, I just found, like, once you put a gift card in here, it gets a little bit bulky. So I thought, well, this would be a good one just to make sure we kind of tie it shut. So we'll just put that on there. I'm going to tie it in a bow. Pull that tight. There we go. And then we'll finish this up. I am going to go ahead and just trim this a little bit. Actually, I'm going to adhere this and then I'm going to trim it. So, oh, it would make a great teacher gift. You are so right. This would be perfect as the end of the year is coming up, because what teacher does not need a little bit of coffee, right? This would make a great teacher gift card. And instead of the hello there, let's catch up, you could put the thanks so much on the front, which would be great. It would be a perfect teacher gift. All right, so I just glued that down in the corner and I'm just going to trim just a little bit off here. Not even hardly measuring it. There we go. Since I messed up. You hopefully didn't mess up and you don't need to do that. I'm going to put this piece on with some Stampin' Dimensionals because I love dimensionals. So now, if you have not heard, I am changing up my monthly card class just a little bit. We're changing it up just a little bit because instead of registering and purchasing the card kits, you are now going to be able to earn them for free, absolutely free. So if you want to earn the May online card class, and we're going to be using the Country Flower stamp set that we used last week, that I showed you last week. If you want to earn that for free, you just have to order $75 in product from me in April, and then I'll automatically send it to you. So really cool. If you don't want the card kit and you just want the tutorials, there is a spot over on my website that you can register and just get the tutorials too. So, all right, so here is the card. Isn't that fun? Hello there, let's catch up. And then they can open it up, untie it, and on the inside, there is a spot for your little gift card and lots of spot to write on there too. So super fun. I just love the way that looks. I don't know. I thought it was fun. I love the fact that it just starts from a regular card base and then has a gift card holder. So, all right. Whew, we have made 2 cards already. Oh, I'm so glad that you love this card idea. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. All right, I'm going to tie my card shut again. Now we're going to work on card number 3. 3 cards tonight. It's a lot for me. I'm used to just making 1 card a night, not 3. All right, there we go. I'm going to set that aside. We're going to work on card number 3. We, of course, have to start with some more cutting, as always. Move some stuff out of the way. All right, so we're going to grab our pattern paper again, and let's see what pieces we need. So for this card, we need this beautiful plaid that I love, and we need the coffee beans, the Calypso Coral coffee beans. So I'm going to start by cutting this piece. This is going to be 5.5 by 4 1/4. I'm going to cut it 4 1/4 first. And then I'm going to cut it at 5.5. And then the coffee bean one, we need 4.5 by 3 1/4. 4.5 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to cut this at 3 1/4 first. And then I'm going to turn it and cut that at 4.5. And there we go. Let's look at the other pieces that we have for this card. So we have a petal pink card base. We have another piece of petal pink. We have a little strip of white. We have a white circle punched with the 2 3/8 inch circle punch. And then we have a petal pink circle, and this was cut with the brand new Spotlight on Nature dies, which are really, really awesome. I love them. So these are the new Spotlight on Nature dies. I'm going to go ahead and let's start doing some, you know what, let's start with the stamping this time. We're going to start with the stamping this time. All right, so I have that strip, and I'm going to start by stamping the sentiment. And this time I'm going to stamp the sentiment with some Calypso Coral, a little bit different. And I'm going to use the thanks so much sentiment. And I'm just going to stamp that over on the left side of this strip. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my mug. And this time I am using the full mug. All right, not the top one, but the full mug. And I'm going to stamp that on this circle. And then there's this great little stamp in the stamp set that makes the coffee for the top of this mug. So I'm going to grab my pecan pie ink. And it's this little stamp right here. Let's see if we can look at it. It's like an oval. And this makes the coffee. So I'm going to ink this up in some pecan pie. And just stamp that right in my coffee mug. Love that. And then we're going to color the coffee mug. So I'm going to use my Petal Pink Stampin' Blends again. And I am just going to color this whole thing with some light Petal Pink. color, color, color. Color up here. I'm going to color the top too. And the handle. Can't forget the handle. And then I'm going to come in with my dark petal pink. I'm almost looking at my sample, wondering if I use dark petal pink and Calypso Coral. No, I don't think so. And again, I'm going to color over these little cheater lines. Like they've already shown us where there's some shadow. So that is where I'm definitely going to add some darker color in here. And I'm going to put it on the bottom kind of the handle. I'm going to add some in here. There we go. So after I put the dark petal pink on, I'm going to go ahead and color over that just a little bit with the light petal pink. Now I'm not going to go all the way to the center, because what's going to happen is when you layer the light petal pink on light petal pink, it's going to get just a little bit darker. So if you don't go over everything, some spots are going to stay even lighter than other spots. So that's what I'm going to do. Just a little petal pink there. And then I'm going to grab my questionable crumb cake, light crumb cake again, and we're gonna add a little bit underneath my coffee mug, because I don't like floating things, so I kind of want to give it something that it's sitting on, but just a little bit of a shadow. And then I'm going to go over that with my color lifter. So there we go. There's our coffee mug, and now we can put this card together. Scoot up in my chair. I'm going to adhere this because this piece is right here. I'm going to adhere this to this circle. Shoop, 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 shoop. This is probably the simplest of tonight's 3 cards. So there we go. And now I'm going to take my card base. Go ahead and fold your card base in half. Give it a good squish on that score line. And then we're going to adhere this piece, this plaid piece, to the front of it, the Latte Love pattern paper. So if you need any of the supplies for tonight's class, if you're on YouTube, there's a link right in the description to the video. If you're on Facebook, you can just pop over to my website, onigostamping.com. And in today's blog post is the link to the complete supply list for these cards. So if you need any of these supplies, if you need to grab the Latte Love stamp set, don't forget that when you order at least $75 in April, you're going to get the May card kit for free. I'm taking this other piece of the Latte Love, A Little Latte pattern paper, and I'm going to put it on the petal pink. So pretty. I love Calypso Coral. I love Calypso Coral and petal pink together. I don't know why. I just love them. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to grab my little piece of silver threaded twine again. I'm going to pull out another strip, another thread, strand. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. Pull out another strand. Use that. I'm going to tie this around my card front, and I'm just going to put this over here. So we're going to tie this around this piece of layered pattern paper. All right. There we go. Just like that. We'll move that around where we want it. I'm going to take this piece of basic white that I stamped the sentiment on, and this is going to go right above that, that twine. And you can move it if you need to, whatever you need to do. I'm using green glue again on this. So this will go right up here. And you can slide it underneath a little bit if you need to, whatever you need to do. Try to get it straight. And then I want to kind of try out my mug. I want this bow to come. I'm going to lay this on here. I want this This mug is going to come about right here, and I kind of want the bow to be just outside that circle. So I'm going to slide this over. When I'm trying to move the bow like this, what I do is I put my finger on that knot and then kind of slide it, and that will help slide it where you want it. So, all right. So this is going to go right in here. That's going to be pretty good. Pretty good. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to glue down this piece to our card front now. And I always like to put adhesive above and below any sort of ribbon or twine I have on there. I don't know why. I feel like it just holds it down better. So this will go on the front. Hold that down, get it in place, try to get it straight. The plaid really helps for getting things straight. Gives you lots of lines to try to straighten it up too. I am so glad you guys are liking these cards. I love the stamp set. And you know, everybody knows somebody who loves coffee, right? Even if you don't love coffee, you probably know somebody who loves coffee. And of course, you could probably make these tea too. Well, some of them you can make tea or just mugs. I don't know. All right. Now, of course, I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals because I love Stampin' Dimensionals. I love things to be popped up on there. So, all right. Peel these off. And then this is going to go right in here. I'm going to have that bow over top. And it's just going to kind of come off the edge. We got our bow right here. I'm going to pull that in just a little bit. It seems a little excessively large. I can trim the edges of it. And I'm going to add some bling to this too, because why not? So I'm going to pull out these gems again that we have. And I'm going to use, oh my goodness, I'm almost out of the yellow. All right, I have more. It is no problem. I have more. All right, let's grab this one. These are Lemon Lolly, which matches this yellow that's right on here. So it's perfect for this because I really wanted to do. So this suite of products has a really cool, I'm trying to find them, has some really cool gems, some dots that have like swirls on them. These have been sold out for ages. So I couldn't get them for this class. So instead I went with these gems instead. And these work really well too. So I'm not too upset about that. All right, I'm going to add a big one, a little tiny one, and a medium one right over here. There we go. So there we go. There's our third card for tonight's class. Push everything out of the way. There's card number 3. And again, you should have a piece of white. So if you want to come in, you could stamp some more splotches and stuff on here. Right, and add some interest to the inside of our card. And we'll add this piece to the inside too. And of course, you can do the same thing on the envelopes. So you don't have a naked envelope. You could stamp some splotches on the envelope too. People like, you're just drinking your coffee in the morning and made a big mess. All right, there we go. There is our third card for tonight. Oh, I'm so glad you like them. So let's see. We have 3 cards. There's our 3 cards for this evening. So hopefully, you know, somebody who likes coffee, you can send them a coffee card. Once again, in May, we are going to be using the Country Flowers stamp set, which is in the new catalog, and I love it. I'm absolutely in love with it. So that's what I'm using for the May card class. The May card class is also going to be a week earlier. So I'm trying to move it, the card class, from being the last or the fourth Thursday of the month, Tuesday of the month, from being the 4th Tuesday of the month. It is now going to be the 3rd Tuesday of the month, just to kind of move it up a little bit in the month. So the May online card class is going to be May 21st, I believe, but just about a month from now. All right. I hope y'all had fun tonight, and I hope to see you again on Thursday. On Thursday, I'm going to be sharing the Layers of Beauty stamp set. Where is it? Here it is. It is gorgeous. I love it. I think you're going to love it too. We're going to make a beautiful card with this on Thursday night. I cannot wait to share it with you. So I will see you then. Have a great evening. Talk to you later.